There's a difference between buying confidence and building confidence. And most beginner campers never learn that difference until it costs them money. Or worse, until it costs them a rough night in the woods. Walk into any outdoor store and you'll see it everywhere. Racks of expensive stoves, high-tech tents, waterproof everything, all promising that the right purchase will make you ready for anything. And gear does help. Nobody's saying otherwise. But 100 years ago, campers didn't have any of that, and they still managed to stay warm, fed, and safe. They had knowledge instead of receipts, and a lot of that knowledge still works better than the gear that quietly replaced it. Today we're going through 10 old camping skills that have faded out of common use, not because they stopped working, but because it's easier to sell someone a product than to teach them a skill. By the end of this, you'll see exactly which of these you already have, and which ones are worth practicing before your next trip. Let's start with fire, because it's usually the first thing that goes wrong for beginners. The common mistake is showing up with one lighter, maybe a backup, and assuming that's enough. Then the wood is damp, the wind picks up, and suddenly, nothing catches. Old school campers didn't rely on a single tool. They relied on understanding fire itself. They gathered dry tinder from the underside of fallen logs and low dead branches, places rain almost never reaches, and they built with a teepee structure that gave the flame room to breathe. Their real secret wasn't the spark. It was knowing that fire needs airflow just as much as it needs fuel. Picture a rainy weekend where every other site is struggling with wet wood and yours catches because you knew where to look. That's the kind of confidence this skill builds. Before your next trip, practice identifying dry tinder in wet conditions and always respect fire bans and local rules, since not every site allows an open flame regardless of how well you can build one. Once fire is sorted, shelter is next. And this is where a lot of beginners fight the land instead of using it. People buy an expensive tent and assume the tent alone will keep them comfortable, then pitch it in a low spot where water pools, or in a wide open area that catches every gust of wind. Seasoned campers looked for natural windbreaks, slightly elevated ground, and existing tree cover to cut down on condensation and exposure. A simple tarp, angled correctly against the wind, can outperform a poorly placed tent that cost 5 times as much. The skill isn't the tarp itself. It's reading the land well enough to know where to put it. Try this on your next trip. Before setting up anything, walk the site first and look for drainage, wind direction, and what's overhead. Weather is the third piece, and this one sneaks up on people constantly. Most campers today check one forecast on their phone and stop thinking about it. Old school campers watch the sky itself. Cloud buildup, sudden wind shifts, a noticeable temperature drop. These all signal change hours before it arrives. That doesn't mean you should throw out a weather app. It means natural signs are a useful backup when you don't have signal, or when conditions shift faster than the forecast expected. And here's something worth sitting with for a second. Most people never think twice about any of these first 3 skills until something fails. The battery dies. The forecast is wrong. The lighter gets wet. That's usually the exact moment people realize gear was never the whole plan. Knowledge is the part that doesn't run out of charge. Skill 4 is navigation, and it follows the same pattern. A phone with GPS is genuinely useful, nobody's arguing against that. But a compass and a paper map don't need a signal or a battery, and they work as a reliable backup layer. Learning to track direction using the sun's general position or recognizing a landmark you passed earlier means you're never fully stuck if your device gives out. Use GPS normally, just don't make it the only tool in your pocket. Skill 5 is cooking with minimal equipment. Before multi-burner camp stoves, people cooked directly over coals using simple methods: Foil packet meals, a single pot doing double duty for everything. It's slower than a stove, sure, but it works in wind and light rain, conditions that shut some modern stoves down completely. If you notice a pattern by now, that's the point. These aren't nostalgic party tricks. They're simple systems that keep working when the newer, more convenient option doesn't. That's the whole idea behind these 10 skills, and it's exactly the kind of thing that's easy to forget until you actually need it. If you want these old-school methods, gear checklists, and basic camping systems organized in one place, I left the complete camping guide bundle in the description. Skill 6 is water awareness. Older campers learned to judge safer-looking water sources by flow, clarity, and the vegetation around them, then treated whatever they collected before drinking it. Observing the source is a smart first step, but it never replaces proper treatment, whether that's boiling, filtering, or purification tablets. Knowing how to responsibly find and treat water removes a dependency that fails fast if your bottled supply runs low. Skill 7 is layering for temperature instead of relying on one expensive jacket to do everything. Old-school campers adjusted layers throughout the day as conditions changed, using breathable natural fibers underneath and shedding or adding pieces as needed. Temperature control was treated as a skill you practiced, not a single purchase you made once and forgot about. Skill 8 is knot tying. And this is one of those skills that seems almost too small to matter, right up until it saves your trip. A handful of reliable knots can replace an entire bag of specialized clips, carabiners, and buckles. It's one of the simplest things modern campers skip entirely. And it shows the moment a tarp line slips in the middle of the night or a food bag needs to hang safely out of reach. Skill 9 is reading the land for safe campsite selection. This goes beyond just finding a flat spot. Seasoned campers avoided low points where cold air and moisture settle overnight, checked for dead branches hanging above the site, and looked for ground that actually drains well after rain. These are details a map or an app usually can't tell you. You have to be standing there, looking up and around to catch them. And skill 10, maybe the most overlooked one of all, is staying calm and thinking through a problem instead of panicking when something goes wrong. A wrong turn, a sudden downpour, a piece of gear that fails. People who spent years outdoors built this kind of steadiness through repetition, not luck. Confidence like that isn't something you can buy off a shelf. Here's the pattern across all 10 of these skills. None of them ask you to throw out your modern gear. Good equipment is still genuinely useful. But the best camper out there isn't the one carrying the most stuff. It's the one who can solve the most problems with the least dependency on any single item working perfectly. That's the real difference between feeling anxious every time something doesn't go to plan and feeling steady no matter what the trip throws at you. So next time you're packing for a trip, take a minute and think through which of these 10 skills you already have a handle on, and which ones might be worth practicing before you actually need them under pressure. If you want a simple way to review these methods before your next trip, the guide bundle is linked below. Some links may be affiliate links, which means I may earn a commission at no extra cost to you. Thanks for watching. If you want more videos like this on old school outdoor skills and smarter, low-cost preparedness, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.